Hey there, I am Seth Macy coming to you from Gamescom 2023 here in the Xbox booth. We have Towerborne behind us and I am joined by...
Arnie Jorgensen, I'm the Chief Creative Officer at Stoic.
Awesome. Could you tell us a little something about Towerborne? Like, what's the lore behind Towerborne?
Sure. The lore behind Towerborne is that you're being born aloft by this giant tower, which is sort of the last bastion of hope for humanity in a world that's been dominated by monsters. So your job is to go out into these wilds and as an ace, that's the name of your character, go out into the wilds and kind of defend humanity, bring them back to the tower and try to escape before the next season comes upon you.
Awesome, and I know the Banner Saga series, which was the preceding games that you worked on, also had sort of a post-apocalyptic end of the world. What is it about the end of the world that's so like appealing to you all as developers?
This is not lost on me. It's pretty funny that we keep revisiting this, but this one's done in a very different way. Banner Saga was more of an adult, story-based, long burn game, and some people, in a joking way maybe, called it a depression simulator. It was a really deep, story-based game. This one's a much more hopeful take on that. This is not even a stress simulator. This is Towerborne is designed to be a really fun game that you can get together with your friends online or sit on a couch, play with your family and friends, and just do a really fun romp. We picture Towerborne as the type of game that, you can go play all these other games that we see here, and it's awesome. You're going to be going back and forth, but you'll always kind of return to Towerborne, play a few missions with your friends, work up your gear, empower your weapons, learn more about the story, the evolving storyline that we're telling. So that's kind of the way we see it. It's a game that people will always kind of come back to and check season to season and play more with their family and friends.
I played it yesterday. I had a really good time, and the first thing I noticed was it was a little different than I was expecting, and I won't spoil it, but what are the influences behind the gameplay of Towerborne?
Well, we have some amazing combat designers. So what we're playing here at Gamescom is really a tiny bite of the combat that Towerborne has. And we have the combat designers from Killer Instinct, and the team is just fantastic. So it's a really tight combat experience that people are playing here, but what they're not seeing is a much larger game. You go out into a wide world of a map, and you interface with this map, kind of like a candy shop for yourself. You go out every day, you're going to be finding new things, chests to uncover, bosses, monster clusters, and all these things are affording the player new places to find really cool gear, really cool weapons, and sort of explore the world of Towerborne. Beyond that, we have, obviously the quest system, but it's being written by Alex Thomas, who's the same writer of Banner Saga, and it's absolutely phenomenal. He's having a really good time writing stuff that's more hopeful, more positive than what we've done in the past. So it's a very different mood of a game than we've done before, and we're having a lot of fun doing it.
Awesome. Could you tell me a little bit about the weapon system, how that works?
Yeah, sure. The weapon and gear is part of your loadout. So every single piece of gear here, you can find pieces, bring them back to the tower, reforge them with materials that you found to higher and higher levels. So like I'm saying, the gear does that. You can fit it with aspects, which is a mod system. Same thing with the weapons. You can work them up into higher ranges, go find different type of weapons. But the weapons themselves are the class of the character in Towerborne. So if I go out with a sword and shield, that's a certain class. You might go out with a war club. We're going to be launching with multiple different weapons. The interesting thing too, though, is you could have a sword and shield, I could have a sword and shield, and they might have very different abilities. And then even if we had the same type sword and shield, I could build my whole kit to be very different and unique to my gameplay style. So we're having a lot of fun kind of messing around with that. These are the deep ARPG mechanics that we're adding to the genre that feel really new and refreshing.
Awesome. The world evolves as you play the game. Could you explain how that system works a little?
So there's deep answers to this, and I'm going to try to make it as short as I can, just for the viewership here. But the world's going to be evolving as the players play. And I've worked on a lot of MMOs in my past. That's what we come from, is a background of MMOs and large-scale development. And we've always promised players, like, oh, the story's going to be evolving based on, how you guys, digest it and all that. And it's a very hard thing to do. I can kind of consider it the holy grail of game design. So we built our map system and our quests and missions from the ground up, being heavily modifiable. Season by season, we're going to be splaying out a whole new map, and we can do it very quickly with a tool set. We can include all the new materials, all the new weapons, all the new enemies, biomes, bosses, and we can very quickly seed them into this new map, and then designers and artists can go in and hand tweak whatever we need to for the new evolving storyline that we've got. But it's a very I want to say simple, but it's a very easy to use system, and we can very quickly respond to player feedback. We're really excited about that. That's kind of one of those underlying things that we don't talk about much, but it's exciting to developers.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you'd like to say about Towerborne that maybe we didn't get to?
I may have said this before, but ultimately, at its base level, the big thing that we wanted to do when we started Towerborne was say we want to make a fun game for players to play with their friends or family, from young kids all the way up to old, and everybody enjoy it. The storyline isn't talking down to kids. It's not, boring for it. We're really hitting something here that I think is special. I have a 6-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 17-year-old. We're playing it. We're having a blast. I mean, my 6-year-old can mash buttons through missions, and he can do the easier missions. The more difficult missions, of course, take a higher skill set. But we have a blast, and that's what we're seeing here is that players enjoying it to the same level that we were hoping for. So it feels really good to us.
That's awesome. Well, if you are here at Gamescom 2023, stop by the Xbox booth, stop by Towerborne. You can play it. It is actually very fun. I played it yesterday. This is IGN, and make sure to keep it here for the rest of Gamescom because we got plenty more.